I'd like to share a little bit about my story, inshallah, to give you some context. So, alhamdulillah, if you don't know anything about me, I was born in Leeds and I grew up in Zimbabwe, and I became a Muslim while I was at university. So I'm a revert. And I became Muslim at university. I got married soon after. I was about 22. And alhamdulillah, if anyone remembers da'wah in the late 90s, early 2000s, so much hope, so much passion for the Deen, wanting to do the right thing, wanting to be good Muslims. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me my Muslim brother. And I married at 22, alhamdulillah, to a revert. And we had 5 children together. We ended up living in the UK and then going to Egypt and living there for 10 years. And in that time, we learned Deen, Arabic, Quran, we raised our children. And one day, I had gone to dinner with a friend, or the sister of mine, and I left my husband at home with the children. He was at work and then he came home. And when I came home, he was already asleep and my youngest needed me. So I went to sleep with my youngest. When I woke up in the morning, I was woken up by my daughter saying, "Daddy's not waking up." And some of you may have heard this story, but it's important for today's conversation. I went in to check on my husband and he was unconscious. And we couldn't get him to respond. We didn't know what had happened. We called the ambulance and they came and they took him to hospital to see what was happening. And long story short, he had had a stroke and he was in a coma with brain damage, and they did not think that he would wake up. So in a moment, our worlds turned upside down. Allahu Akbar. They had him in hospital, under observation. He didn't respond, although he was stable. And as a family, we had to come to terms with what it would mean if he woke up and was damaged and would not be able to be the husband and the father and man that he had been. We had to come to terms with the possibility of him staying in a coma long term, because as you know, you never can tell. And we had to come to terms with the possibility of him never waking up. A couple came to see me at the hospital. In fact, no, a sister came to see me at the hospital. And she said, "How are you?" And I said, "Sis, to be honest, I don't know." She said, "I want to give you something." And what that sister gave me, I don't even remember that sister's face. But what she gave me, I don't know her name and I don't remember her face. But what she gave me is a gift that I have given to thousands of people in that time, and I'm going to give that gift to you as well. And it's the gift of a true story about a couple whose child was terminally ill. And this child was about 6 years old, and she was in the hospital, and the doctors were saying she's not going to make it. So the parents would go every day to the hospital to check on their daughter, and the doctors would tell them more bad news. And every time they would give them the news, the husband would look at his wife and say, "Not yet." They would come back the next day, the doctors would give them more bad news. The husband would say to his wife, "Not yet." And this happened day in and day out until one day they came and they were told that their daughter was no more. And then the husband turned to his wife and said, "Now." And they both fell into sujood of shukr. The hospital staff were horrified. What is this? You've just lost your, what? Are they crazy? What are they doing? Why are they saying that? Why are they making sujood? What is happening? Subhanallah. And when they asked the question, the couple said, "We were blessed to be the mother and father of this beautiful little girl for 6 whole years. And in those years, we had the honor of parenting her, of loving her, of caring for her, the reward of looking after her when she became ill. We are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what we had with her. And that is why we are in sujood of shukr. When I heard that story, my brothers and sisters, I decided that I would do exactly the same thing. No matter that I had had 15 years with my husband, I knew that I could never be ungrateful for that time that I had had with him and everything that came with it. So I decided, if laqadar Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to take him home, I would be one of those who would be in sujood. And so it was a week or so later, at 2 a.m., my phone rang and the doctor said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, wa alaikum salam. He said he had, subhanAllah, the details of it do not even register anymore. But they tried and nothing could be done, and he has returned to Allah. And I said, Jazakallah khairan. And I put the phone down and I made sujood. Everyone here who is married or has been married or would like to be married, this is my message to you from the dark side.